Well, Alto, we have tea and market stats. Okay,
Guys, I've been waiting for this. I'm so excited. I have my tea set out.
Guys, if the listeners can't tell, well, you can't because you can't see. But that's a main reason on why you want to jump on YouTube. Because Alto obviously was prepared for this for days.
For days. I've been waiting a long time for this. You've made me eat pizza. You've made me eat hot wings.
Well, we started with hot wings.
And now I get a beautiful spread of sweets and tea and a fascinator.
What's on your head?
It's a fascinator.
That's what you were saying.
So I purchased this for a charity event. You know those things that you buy one time, never to be used again. So when I found out we were doing tea, I was really excited. So I knew I'd get to wear it again. So I got the dust off, and here I am. Pinkies up, Jazz.
Pinkies up. Pinkies
Cheers.
up.
We're in our third lockdown. Woo!
Yes, we are. We are in our third lockdown. It's tea, Laura. There's no alcohol in here.
Every day's a party.
It is. It's true. For anybody who's new to our world and new to the podcast, either on YouTube or any of the podcast platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Ave, Google Play, all that. Every month, at least one time a month, we always like to mix up how we do our market stats. Because look, market stats for some could be very boring. It's just a bunch of percentages and numbers. For others, we have tons of clients who wait for this specific episode because they want to know what's going on in the market.
And for those people, let me tell you, we initially were scheduled to record this at 3 p.m. today.
That's true.
Because we record it as soon as the stats come out.
Yes.
But it's now 5 o'clock, so tea time is now kind of dinner.
Yeah.
Because literally we just got the stats.
Yeah.
So these are fresh off the press, as fast as can be. And here we are.
Here we are. But before we get into that, a big shout out to a few people and businesses. Okay. Because again, listeners can't see. Make sure you jump on either like YouTube, or this will probably play on Facebook as well. But YouTube's the easiest place. It's youtube.com/Jazz Takhar. You will see a massive spread of sweets,
and I've been eyeing for 2 hours.
You've been watching for 2 hours. You can't wait. You can't wait. There was 3 local businesses that we wanted to support this third lockdown. I'm going to have you go through them. A big shout out to Geralina, Roro, our team member, along with our boy Nikki, who went and got all this prepared, made a couple of videos with the owners of these businesses. Mm-hmm. And if you're watching or listening right now, I know all of us are going through a very tough time. But we, specifically in Toronto, and right across the nation, right across the world, small businesses are really the lifeline of a community, an economy, and right now they need our help. They need our help. And small businesses right across the board, right? It could be in manufacturing, it could be in transportation, it could be local restaurants.
Yeah, your local hardware store, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. The big boys, the Walmarts, the Costco's, and all those, they're going to be perfectly fine. And there's a reason that they're open, okay? I hear a lot of rhetoric around why are the big stores open? Well, they employ, like Walmart employs, I forget what the number is. I can't wait till our research team is
we came up with this yesterday.
But, well, he or she's going to be joining very soon.
Exactly.
In the next 4 or 5 days. But I can't wait until they join because they'll be able to fact check this. I have a feeling it's a little over 1 million people that they employ in North America alone. And so, that's huge, right? The Walmarts of the world. But the local businesses, the small businesses, they really need our help. And so the 3 that we went out and got, because it's tea time, it obviously makes sense to get pastries and cupcakes and all the good stuff that we love to eat. The rest of the crew, also, I'm sure is going to eat the majority of this.
Yes.
Because you've been waiting.
I've been waiting patiently, and you're kind of killing me by continuously talking. So let me get to it, please. We decided to go pastries. Something about April, Easter. I think the Kentucky Derby's at the end of April, maybe early May. So fascinators, teas, British awesomeness all around. I just love it.
I love myself
so speaking of the croissants, I think Well, I actually don't know where those guys are from. So let me just go over what I do know where they're from. The macarons and these flour cupcakes here is from Flour Cake and Cafe. So they are located at 20 St. Patrick Street. It's a little bit hidden, but as you can see, this is art. But I'm sad to eat this.
Yeah.
It looks so good. But I imagine it's going to be incredible.
That's right in the heart of downtown Toronto. St. Patrick's Street is right around the corner from the AGO. There's, so much happens in that area of downtown Toronto. One of my favorite streets being Queen Street. Nikki, you went there. Is this like right off of Queen Street?
So it's like 2 blocks west of University on Queen.
It's off of Queen, right?
It's just off of Queen.
Yeah.
And you just go a little bit west of University.
Okay, awesome.
And it says here, my notes say Amy. I imagine that was the owner. She was nice enough to have a chat with Carolina.
Yes.
And who went out to get this with you. And we're going to have a little vlog about that as well. So stay
100%.
tuned to see that all come together.
And we're going to be doing giveaways. So make sure you also follow us on the gram. And it's Jazz Takhar 13.
You said the gram.
I said the gram. I'm trying to get younger. You know what I mean?
That's not
also, what's your handle on
Laura
Instagram?
Stewart TO.
Okay, so make sure you follow us on Instagram because we are definitely within the next 24 hours of this recording going to be doing a giveaway for each of these places, not just one. All 3 of these places, we're going to be doing some type of giveaway. And if you're new to this podcast again, there's one thing we like to do. We like to eat. We like to drink. We like to talk about real estate, a bunch of other headlines and things that's going on in business. We also like to give away stuff.
That's true.
We're all blessed with so much. Continue, though.
Okay, the biscotti and the cookies is from Phipps. Apparently, they have a beautiful interior. I myself did not get to go in to see.
Laura, I apologize for cutting you off because you said biscotti, but it's walnut cinnamon biscotti.
And like the size of this biscotti,
this thing is
huge.
huge.
This is like a loaf here.
So you go talk about that. You talk about where they're from.
They're located at 420 Eglinton Avenue West from Monday to Saturday, 9 to 5.
Hang on, Nikki, we're Eglinton. What? Eglinton's a big street.
Closer to Bathurst.
Eglinton and Bathurst?
Yeah, that area.
Go.
What's up? Okay, and last but not least, Bomou, this place, I hope I'm saying that right. Bomou.
I love their packaging.
Where we got these fancy little chocolates. Like that looks like gold. And we're going to talk about some luxury real estate today. And when we do that, I feel I need to eat one of these luxury little chocolates. So that's what we're going to do there. Sister-owned business. Get this. They opened the day the lockdown began.
So they're a COVID baby.
COVID
business baby. Wow. Just amazing that you got through it. And 2 sisters, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Love it. Love the story. I just had their walnut cinnamon biscotti, and it is delicious.
That's
from Phipps. I apologize.
So
this was the third place
Bomou is located at
sorry.
1636 Bayview Ave.
So Bayview and Eglinton.
Bayview and Eglinton. I think, is that our kettle going off in the corner there?
No.
Okay, awesome.
So, Jazz, what can I get on your plate here?
So we're going to talk about the stats. Laura, I'll have...
I'm going to just get you a smorgasbord.
Yeah, give me a little smorgasbord there. We're going to be...
Boys.
I got a list of stuff that we're going to be talking about today. Obviously, we are in the 3rd lockdown at the time of this recording. Love to know your thoughts, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're on a podcast platform, unfortunately, majority of them, from what I know, you cannot leave a comment. But jump over to our YouTube page. Please leave a comment on what your thoughts are. I just kind of want to get the temperature of our listeners and viewers on what their thoughts are about this lockdown. Like good, bad, and ugly. I'm very, very curious. I have obviously my thoughts around this, which is it's been very unfortunate. It's been very, very unfortunate that our leadership, and this, I never go really on political rants. It's everyone in the leadership roles. Wow, Lord,
there you go. I'm going to take half that.
That our leadership, it hasn't and didn't figure this out. Figure out a better plan. I'm not talking about figuring out the vaccine maybe in time for that in the last year, but at least have a better plan rather than us being in lockdown, then being in a semi-lockdown, then being open,
then
getting patios,
closed.
then getting the
for 2
patios
weeks. And then the restaurants, you know, they get tents and heaters out,
The
and they put
permits.
money into this, and then
2 weeks later, they shut
I feel
down.
like, you know, parents who like send their kids to their room. It's like you're grounded.
Yeah.
For 14 days,
Mhm.
and then after like one day, they let them out of the room. I feel like that's what's happened.
Who's
Right.
this from?
That's the macaroon place. That's Flour Cake and Cafe,
Okay.
which is where I'm also. This cupcake is also from.
So, flour cake. Is that the name? I don't want to mispronounce it. The flour cake. Your macaroons are unbelievable. Anybody who's listening or watching, unbelievable. I'm gonna
Really,
jump
the
into.
cupcake.
I'm gonna jump into the cookies after. So yeah, I mean, it's so unfortunate that the leadership has didn't figure out a better plan. They didn't strategize around it. Or
I was just saying, I feel like it's like, you know, parents who are like, you're going to your room, you're grounded, and then one day later they let them out. And it's like, no one's learning the lesson.
Yeah.
Nothing good is coming from this. You need to either stick with the 14-day plan or not put the kid in being grounded.
Look, it's why I want to really hear more, and it's why we're trying to do our part in supporting local businesses, restaurants, and so on and so forth. I hope you can do the same thing. We are going to be talking about the market stats. We're going to jump into that. A couple of other headlines I was interested in that came across our table in the last couple of days. Clubhouse, this app
This is like water cooler chat, but now we don't have that anymore.
because we don't.
Yeah, these are all the headlines that like most people. Did you hear?
Did you? Yeah, I think it's always curious to give our thoughts and our opinions on it. I also want to hear everybody who's watching and listening their thoughts and opinions on it. Clubhouse, this new app that we've been raving about, audio only, now allows content creators to monetize. It just came out yesterday, so 2 days.
Yeah, and they're sort of, it's coming in slowly. Not everyone has that ability yet.
Yeah.
They're doing this small group of people, but
What's your thoughts on it? What do you think about the app itself, and now the fact that they're letting you monetize?
So the app, I mean, it's been great. I've actually really enjoyed it, specifically during all these lockdowns because we're at home a lot more, and I like being entertained that way. My only concern is that once we're out past this, once we're outside of this, because it requires you to be actively listening and participating for the most part. Like if you want to be a moderator or you want to speak, you can't necessarily just have it on in the background. So I wonder if if it's gonna stay or if it's gonna continue at least in the growth that it has been. But
yeah, right now it's only open to iPhone. The next big jump that they'll be making is opening it up to all Android platforms. So if you do have an iPhone and you do, it is an invite-only app as well. And so if you do want an invite, just shoot us a message here in the comments.
I got a lot of invites to give away.
So they just started to give away more invites for people that are already on it. So just shoot us a message and we'll make sure that we get you a Clubhouse invite. But I actually find it very interesting. Now they're allowing content creators to monetize, and I say that because I find that most social media apps have waited longer.
Well, so long that who is it? LinkedIn is thinking about allowing monetization.
Well,
they're not doing it yet.
They're not doing it yet. LinkedIn's also coming out with their own audio only feature because of this mass shift of users on
to audio. Yeah.
Right. Don't forget, all of these social media apps, their main job and their main objective is to keep you on their platform longer. And as a content creator, they want you to create relevant content to keep viewers and listeners on their platforms. Why is the LinkedIn's and the Clubhouses allowing for monetization now? Well, because they know that someone like YouTube allows content creators to monetize through the ads. Facebook allows you to monetize through Marketplace.
Yeah.
Instagram also allows you to monetize if you have a shop and you sell stuff, because Instagram came out with their shop feature, and LinkedIn didn't have anything. So with Clubhouse, though, I mean, LinkedIn's been around for a decade or something.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, like obviously, as just a consumer, being there as a consumer of content, I think it's probably safe to say, like, we prefer when there's not sponsored ads. there's not too much noise in there, right? Because that's great. But at the same time, the opportunity once one of these platforms allows for monetization is absolutely massive.
And that's why I was surprised. That's why it's so interesting. Sorry, that Clubhouse has allowed it, and the way that they figured it out. So obviously, you can't have it's not video, and if you have ads running, it just won't work. Even if it was just images, it wouldn't be as user friendly, as intuitive as the app is now. When you're listening, you don't really want to be seeing a bunch of other promotional ads. But the way that they're allowing content creators again to monetize is that if I'm moderating a room, for example, and you wanted to tip me, you could tip me $10.
That's what that is. I heard someone say I just got $10, but I thought they sold something for $10.
No. So I guess you could obviously do that, what you're saying, but it's more going to be used as
wow. Yeah. So this is I like what you have to say. So I'm going to give you $10.
Here's $20. Here's $40. I mean, there's some massive moderators.
Oh, I didn't understand.
Followers of over 1 million people.
Wow.
And when they get into a room, they'll have 5,000, 6,000 on average. I would say about 3,500, 4,000 people.
Yeah.
Imagine if everyone, let's just say 100 people gave them $10 in an hour of them moderating. Not a bad.
That's incredible.
Not a bad little tip
I'm liking
jar.
it even more.
Not a bad little
This stuff
tip
excites
jar
me so much.
that they got, right? And so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Let's talk about let's talk about the market stats.
All right,
I know
let's
that's
go
what
into
a
the
lot
market.
of people are here for. As always, what we like to do when we're speaking about the market stats is speak about 3 to 4 different indicators. First and foremost, we're going to be speaking about the actual regions, i.e. Halton region, Peel region, City of Toronto, Durham region, York region. Those are the ones that we speak about most, because that's our 41 agents that you're the VP co-founder, that myself and CMOs of REC Canada, the real estate company. That's our 41 agents cover that radius, right?
Yeah.
That 80
Yeah, and
kilometer.
sometimes we'll dive a little deeper into the specific micro markets in here.
Like the cities, you mean?
Yeah, like the actual cities, but for time purposes,
yes.
and just because we just got these stats,
Yeah.
we're gonna go with the regional data.
Can you just tell me where the cookies from? Because I want to make sure I get that.
I don't know where that cookie's from.
Wherever this chocolate chip cookie is.
Oh, from Phipps.
From Phipps.
So
Great
that and
job.
the biscottis, you're really liking the Phipps.
I'm
I gotta say,
liking
I'm
Phipps.
taking down this cupcake like no one's business
This
back here.
macaroon is the best macaroon I've ever had. I'm not really a macaroon fan, to be honest with you. But
Well, these are not even normal macaroons. Normally it's
I know.
just kind of jelly
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
inside.
yeah,
This is like icing inside, all different types and flavors. So I'm gonna try one then.
I know our team is like,
Oh.
guys, can't wait till you finish this podcast.
I know,
we
so
can
that
finish
they
it all.
can together. Like, oh,
Steve,
I'm dripping.
Shout out to Steven and Nikki, Andre, Clem, the whole crew that puts all this stuff together.
Oh
for
my
us.
god.
Delicious. I told you it's one of the best macaroons I've ever had.
No, this one has caramel filling.
Well, there's another one. I'm going to get to that after.
Can
Okay.
someone get me a napkin? Bro, can I have a napkin?
So,
Sorry, we're keeping everyone outside.
yeah.
The studio.
Well, I don't think they want to smell this anymore because they all want to eat it.
Thank you.
Love you, Ro. Big shout out to you again, big girl. Thanks, Ro. So let's talk about the regions. If you want the specific cities, i.e. the Bramptons, Mississaugas, the Whitbys, and the Ajax, all you need to do is send a text message. All you have to send is a text message to 647-372-0126. Send a text message that says STATS, STATS, to 647-372-0126. You'll automatically get the
So
market
proud of you. You got that spelling correct.
of stats. Like you were going to say, Jazz, great job on remembering your text community number. Good luck. You get all the stats detailed to the city. So let's start off with City of Toronto. Let's just start there.
We did it.
Okay.
We did it. We broke the record.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. In what sense?
We're over $1 million.
Well,
Average price.
Average price.
Weren't
we're
we
actually
just
close to
under?
Well, no. Last month
Or that was
we were
the
slightly
CTA?
above.
Oh.
We were slightly above $1 million, but now we're actually hitting very close to 1.1 million. We're at 1,000,083 to be exact. This is the average sale price of all home types, including condos, townhomes, semi-detached, and detached homes. And we always preface when we speak about the market at large or the city of Toronto or Peel region, that if you're thinking about selling or buying, guys, always dive in to your micro market. Your micro market meaning like right down to your street, at least in the 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer radius of where you live. Be very careful. Don't take these average numbers and say, well, my home is worth the same amount because I heard the average number for City of Toronto. You've got to get into the micro market. So that's one of the market indicators that we like to look at, which is average price. Gives us an indication of what a home's selling for, what a condo's selling for on average. The second number that we like to look at is months of inventory. Laura, talk about why months of inventory is important.
Yeah, essentially, if
And I
there
asked
was
you to do
no
that,
new
sorry, because I wanted
listings.
to eat. Go.
Yeah, you eat it up.
Go.
Try that cupcake, I'm telling you.
Okay,
So
go.
if you had no new listings come on the market and everything that was on the market sold, essentially how long would it take for what's on the market to sell? So here it says months of inventory, 1.8. So just under 2 months of inventory here in the city of Toronto.
Which we're starting to shift. We're starting to shift there. And why? Because you'll be surprised. We were actually under months of inventory in the city of Toronto last month. But why are we starting to see a slight shift? The reason is because more people are coming onto the market.
Well, people heard our podcast last month
100%.
and they were like, hold on.
Yeah.
Laura and Jazz keep saying everything's on fire. This is incredible. This is crazy. There's 73 offers on one house. So then people were like, I better put my house up for sale.
Well, and
So now we have more.
And now you have more. Now, on average, it's taking, if you're a seller, I want you to know kind of your expectations on all types of homes in the city of Toronto. On average, you can be prepared to stay on the market for about 12 days. Okay, so if you put up your home condo for sale, on average, you'll be in and around 12 days on market. And so really, these 3 market indicators for us are the most important, specifically the months of inventory. And the reason being because then you'll get an idea on what type of market you're in. Seller's market, 0 to 3 months. Balanced market, 3.5.
I gotta say, I have generally speaking, things are still a seller's market, even at what you said, 3 months, right? Anything
Yes.
less than 3
Anything
months.
less than,
So we haven't really seen that in Toronto, anyways.
Well, you haven't seen anything outside of a seller's market really in Toronto, other than a slight dip early part of last year in 2020, early part of the lockdown in only downtown Toronto condos. However, quickly just going back to seller's market is 0 to 3 months, 3.5 months to 6 months is a balanced market, 6 months and above is a buyer's market. All the numbers we talk about today are all the markets we speak about, they're all in sellers markets. I think it's probably best to go over to Peel. Next, that's kind of the next big region that we do a lot of our
Brampton,
business of.
Caledon, Mississauga.
Okay, average price
is 1.061.
just slightly under Toronto now, right? That's
Isn't that
interesting to see. You will get.
It makes sense, right? Toronto, you have so many condos.
Yeah.
Right? People are living in smaller spaces here in Toronto. And what we did see some people do during COVID times is they wanted a little bit more space. People didn't understand, if I go up an elevator with someone, I'm going to get COVID. There was a lot of fear. And so a lot of people decided, I think it's time for me to move out of the city and into some of the regions right outside Toronto. And so we started seeing increased pressure on pricing in those regions as well.
And I love the fact that you went into the Brampton, Caledon, Mississauga. Remember, if you want your specific city, you want all the stats, detailed stats, just send a text, text stats to 647-372-0126. Months of inventory in Peel region right now, on average, we're seeing a month. Again, that's on average. Why do I say that? Because if you look at Brampton, I always like to bring up Brampton. I live there now, but Elto was born and raised there. It's under a month. Okay, you're right above 3 weeks. Call it 3 weeks and 3 days is the
so we're
actual.
moving $1 million plus houses in 3 weeks.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the average price in Brampton, as well as is above $1 million.
Sorry, days on market. I shouldn't even said that. It's 8 days.
Is 8 days
We're
in the
moving a $1
Peel
million
region.
house in 8 days.
In
for
8
all of
days
Peel,
in
yeah.
Peel region, but in Brampton, the months of inventory, it's less than a month. It's less than a month. So if all the homes and condos sold in Brampton specifically, it would take. We only have less than a month of inventory. So when we talk about a seller's market, it's actually. I just want to make sure before I say this. The only other place in our province right now that is seeing less months of inventory is Milton. Milton's probably at exactly 3 weeks, where Brampton's at 3 weeks and 3 days. Let's jump over to York region, actually, because again, massive area, includes your Auroras, your Richmond Hills, your Vaughns. Now you'll start to see the average price point actually be higher than City of Toronto, as well as higher than
these are some big
Peel
properties.
Big properties, big homes,
Yeah.
the cities that I mentioned, definitely bigger lots as well, because now you're further north in that greater Toronto area. Average price point is 1.2 million, actually closer to, I apologize, 1.3 million closer to, and months of inventory. Because this is a much bigger area, we're speaking about a lot more homes, if you could, than compared to the Peel regions and the City of Toronto. Months of inventory right now is 1.7. Average days on market, 10 days average
Still
on
moving fast.
markets. I mean, look, Laura, I mean, you said it, right? Like on average, 1,265,000 to be exact is the average price point. You said it when we were speaking about the City of Toronto and Peel. They're moving in 10 days. Like, we've never really seen that. Why don't you speak about Halton and what cities are in there, and then talk about kind of the stats.
Yeah,
Go right
Halton
across the
region
board.
is made up of Burlington, Halton Hills, Milton, of course, and Oakville. We talked about Oakville a little bit last time as well. So this is where we're going to see, average price points high as well, because these are the outskirts of Toronto, bigger homes, not as many condos in these locations. The average price, $1.24 million, and just over 1 month of inventory here.
And days on market there.
Days on market, we got 10, another 10.
So same thing, right across. I mean, you can tell that the average in all of TREB, the Toronto Real Estate Board, is actually 10 days on market, which is down. Last month when we did our stats, we were at I think about 17 to 18 days on market. So it's come down almost a week. The homes are moving faster. If you're wondering why are values continuing to rise, guys, we've always had a massive housing shortage here in the greater Toronto area. And as people continue to move around, want bigger space, as well as downsizing, it's not just families that want bigger homes. It's people wanting to move because of lifestyle, get their kids into better school systems. Because I think it's safe to say at some point, when this leadership figures out that we need to get people out, this pandemic that's going around, in my opinion, is, scientifically, it's very similar to a flu. It might be slightly more harmful, but at the end of the day, we need some type of herd immunity here. People are going to start getting out, right? Like, like you said,
When Jazz and I start talking COVID, what he thinks herd immunity is and whether this is worse than the flu, we need to move on.
Yeah, well, no, at the end of the day,
we have left here?
Yeah, well, no, what I'm trying to say is that our leadership is just not doing a good enough job. They did not strategize or plan for this at all. I mean, we spend hours upon hours and days and months upon years in and around whiteboards and planning and strategizing. And this has taken way too long. And it's just, I hate watching businesses and people suffer, and we're suffering as well. And I know on the flip side, there's been a lot of illness and people dying. And there has to be more talks going on. This opening and closing, it just doesn't make sense. And so I kind of got back on that rant again. And it's because there's too many businesses closing, there's too many people losing their livelihoods. And however, the marketplace understands that things are going to open up again. And the consumer confidence is still very high.
Well, I'm going to touch on something a little bit later after we do Durham region that speaks to that point. So let's do Durham region first.
Okay.
We're looking at, so this is Ajax, Oshawa, Pickering, Whitby, etc. Just over $900,000 with less than a month of inventory on hand and only 7 days on market. So this is where we're seeing a lot of those multiple offers where they're listing it on a Thursday, and then the following Thursday they're doing multiple offers.
Well, and I mean that's done on purpose for anybody who's listening as well. There's a reason that you see a lot of multiple offers, and one of the main reasons is because agents and sellers on purpose list their properties way below market value. I was speaking about multiple offers and why they happen. It's done on purpose because listing agents and the sellers do it on purpose, listed below market value, drive up the demand, get a lot of people to see the home and get more offers, and you'll get a higher price. When speaking about Durham region, I always like to mention, because I get asked a lot, why Durham? Well, if you can actually look at a map, on the southern part of Durham, the GO train runs right across the Durham region, right into Bowmanville. Well, in 3 years, Bowmanville will have its station, but the Oshawas, the Whitbys, and the Ajax, and the Pickering, they have a GO train which brings you into downtown Toronto within, say, 37 to 45 minutes, and that's why a lot of people want to move there. Average price, when you say average, I've been doing this for 16 years, okay? When you tell me an average price point of $900,000 in Durham, I mean, when I was doing this, when I got started, I was looking at $275,000, $300,000.
Yeah, I was going to say when I started, which is much later than you, but
Yeah.
that's only 5 years ago, 6 years ago when I was actually, selling homes out there. We were at 600.
Yeah.
So
that sounds
this is
crazy.
Yeah, things are going up. There's obviously a lot of confidence. I wanted to bring something to our attention
Go.
because luxury homes have been interesting. So we consider in the region of Toronto luxury homes to be anything over $2 million. There was 906 of those homes sold in the month of March alone.
Say that again.
906 homes,
Yeah.
over $2 million that were sold.
Wow. And is that in all of GTA that you're looking? All of City of
I
Toronto?
think, well, it says
Top right-hand corner,
Toronto.
you might say, see it. March.
no,
Okay,
it just
got
says
it.
here.
Okay. So it's the Toronto Real Estate Board. So anything across that 80-kilometer radius, you saw 2,000 homes. Sorry, 900 homes
906.
over $2 million.
Mhm.
Now that's crazy.
Like that just goes to show, like you need a substantial amount of confidence to be purchasing a house over. If you think the sky is falling,
Yes.
you're probably not purchasing a house over $2 million.
Well, and the down payment you need.
Yeah.
The financing, right? I mean, rates are very low right now. One of the main reasons that you're also seeing values do what they're doing, because you can lock in a 5-year mortgage rate. Never, ever have I seen it before. In fact, it's never been this low. You can lock in a 5-year mortgage rate for 1.7, 1.8%. You can lock in 10-year money, 10-year mortgage for right around 2.8, 2.9%.
We were having an interesting conversation the other day because people will say, well, the prices of homes are going up faster than people's salaries are going up, and this is crazy. And like, yes, to a certain extent, that may be true. But at the same time, you guys have to consider. So in April of last year, rates, what were mortgage rates?
April, during the first part of the lockdown. Well, you were still at about 2. I was gonna say about 2.7, 2.8.
2.7, 2.8. So now for a whole percentage point less, you can buy this. So you can have the exact same job.
Yeah.
No salary increase.
Yes.
And you can essentially, if you were in the market for a $500,000 house in April last year, that same person can buy, what is that, a $600,000 house now this year?
You're going right up about another $100,000.
That puts you almost in a different region of houses where you're looking at.
And
So you have more buying power at the same time.
excuse me.
Let's not forget that.
Yes, for sure, Laura. And to add to that, what you also saw happen in the last 12 rolling months, call it 10 for sure, is that Canada was the country that saved the most money in the last 10 to 12 months. It's just Canadians being Canadians. We're savers,
so
right?
conservative.
We're so conservative. And we saved the most across the world. And it's why you're starting to see, I mean, when we speak to investors and first-time home buyers, move up buyers, what we call kind of smart buyers if they're moving up or moving down. They have a lot more money in their bank account than they usually would. Why? Because, well, you weren't spending money.
You weren't going out to restaurants.
There's
You
nowhere to
didn't
go.
take any holidays.
Like,
Why
yeah.
were you buying clothes? Where were you going to wear
I was
them?
going to say that, like, even if you have, like, yourself, you have an affinity to buy clothes. But I bet you, if you look at your 2020,
Oh, I'm sure it's less.
it's a lot
Or
less than
at
your
least I spend a
2019.
lot more money on sweatpants.
And you don't need to buy $400 sweatpants, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
well, Laura, let's give another shout out to our 3 bakeries. They did an amazing job. The spread is awesome. Stephen Rochester's been walking back and forth into this room because he wants to get his hands on something, and I want to make sure that he gets to eat the pastries and everyone gets something to have. Let's give another big shout out to the 3 places. I know you have them. I don't want to mispronounce any of them. If you don't mind, Laura, just give the addresses as you mentioned, the 3 shops as well.
So Bomou is located at 1636 Bayview Avenue. Phipps is located at 420 Eglinton Avenue West. And Flower Cake Cafe is located at 20 St. Patrick Street. And they were all awesome.
How's your tea time?
Well, I'm going to be wide awake now.
Wait, you normally wouldn't drink any type of caffeine at this
No,
time?
because I go to bed in 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys don't know Laura and her bedtime is what?
8:45.
8:45.
Oh my gosh, I am an old lady.
Yeah, what time do you get up?
I get up at 4:30.
There you go. So thank you for joining me, putting this thought and idea together. As always, to the Stevens, the Mickeys, the Andres, the Clems, to the Rose, to Simos, Shem, and her boy Ty, who I haven't seen for a very long time.
Over a year.
If you
Like
have
someone-
over a year,
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually physically seen Tyler. That actually makes me very sad that you said that right
He's
now.
going to have a
Yeah,
1-year-old
because-
soon that we
Yeah,
Never really
because I
seen.
used to get to see him
Yeah.
every Monday on a Zoom meeting, but I physically have not given Tyler a hug. Tyler is my air traffic controller, been by my side for 7 years now. You mentioned his daughter. I mean, he's a dad, but we haven't really got to talk about his experience as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
And so to everyone behind the scenes, behind the cameras, thank you guys, as you guys always put your best foot forward. How does the universe work? How does the universe work, Tyler? Tyler, I'm just finishing up a podcast. I'll call you in 2 minutes, but I was telling the listeners how
Tyler.
much we love you. I'll call you back in 2 minutes.
Oh, he's really going.
Tell them I'll call
You
back in 2
missed the
minutes.
podcast part.
We're on a podcast.
Okay, awesome.
We'll take
To the
calls
listeners,
here
I
on the
haven't spoken to
podcast.
Ty. That's just how the universe works, right? Just another example. If you watch our podcasts on YouTube, you might actually think you're also subscribed on a podcast platform, but I know majority of you are not. And so if you have iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, any podcast platform app on your phone, make sure to search Jazz Takhar on your phone and on that podcast platform. If you listen to the podcast, you probably don't get to see Laura's
My fascinator. You have to see this. I put effort.
Sweets. You probably think you're subscribed to the YouTube page where we have more than just our podcast. We have over 400 videos on tips and strategies on how to invest into real estate, but also how to become a better business person, a salesperson, as I'm documenting my journey through entrepreneurship. I would love, and it would mean the world, and give you the good, the bad, the ugly in terms of the criticism. Go to YouTube, search Jazz Takhar, and drop a subscribe, drop a bell, as the kids like to say, because my mom and my kids are starting to really, really enjoy that as well. Elto, how do you want to sign off today? I leave it to you, girl.
Everyone, stay safe and make sure to go out and purchase something from your local place.